Hi, it's ep.3. In this video I'd like to ask you, the viewer, to question how these features ended up here looking like they do. In other words, imagine millions of years of rain, wind, mineralization, and plant and animal action on the landscape. In other words, erosion. We know that weathering and erosion rounds rocks and makes them smooth and dark with patina. The same can be said of large features like these. They should erode down to a rounded shape, be covered with detritus, sand, soil, and vegetation. But here you have vertical surfaces, and the rocks are all chipped, pecked, and sharply cleaved. They're also colored with different minerals, both light and dark. Large, freshly broken, sharp-edged rocks are lying around everywhere, some sitting by themselves and others left in obvious piles. Each rock is decorated and purposely placed to form figures, both from the ground and from the air. Satellite photos show this area is totally disturbed. On the ground you can see the disturbances and how these features are covered in human and animal figures, not just from one angle, but from every angle. Most of the photos in this video are taken from the north side of this one ridge line of stone features. It is in the lower section of the purplish band I labeled Area 2, just north of the feature I showed in episode 2. If you study this feature closely, you can see how it was built. The stones and mortar masonry work. The way the segments are formed from stacks of rock, all leaning together for stability. In other words, you can see the engineering as well as the art. They can even be rotated every direction. On top of that, the art changes at different distances, both on the ground and from the air in satellite photos. This is very complex art. The images are of animals and people from all over the world. The Aztecs say that they were from this area, and that they were one of 7 tribes. These tribes apparently came from all over the world. The Romans, Mongols, and other empires were known to have consisted of various tribes working together. Norse legends even say that the Vikings were Aztec. And we found that there are different types of Vikings from different genetic pools. All this known history referring to tribes is ignored by archaeologists and even ridiculed as some kind of fantasy. Even Western historical accounts of these tribes are dismissed. I used to accept that all this was natural, but I know now this is all man-made and verifiably so. But scientists can't see when a feature is man-made because they've been told all their lives that this is natural. Because of a lack of critical thinking, they continue to believe assumptions and speculation from the past, instead of trying to determine the facts themselves.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
So you can see here how these features were built. Each segment is comprised of rock and mortar masonry and coated with concrete-like plaster. Different colored minerals are added in layers, then chipped, pecked, and rubbed to create art. So you can see that all these photos show large cleaved rocks, stone set in mortar, stone workshops, and artwork on every surface. You don't have to believe me, believe your own eyes, and look at the rocks around you where you live. You might be surprised by what you find if you open your mind.